picture that Craig sent to you. This is Oklahoma's uniform. Would like to show these out. Oklahoma's uniform, all black with the crimson. Numbers across the number and or letters across the chest for their game against Kansas on Saturday.
Yeah, never seen them wear black to my knowledge.
Leave it up. Leave it up a little bit.
Yeah, never seen them wear black to my knowledge. I thought that was a cool look. Didn't know that they were planning on, unveiling new uniforms. I haven't kept close tabs on stuff like that, but I think compared to their wood grain variations that they, busted out a few years ago, here I was as an Oklahoma fan getting all excited about them, in the hoopla of alternate uniforms several years ago. Like, obviously, old Baylor teams were well-known along with Oregon, probably the two most well-known programs there for about a 2 or 3 year stretch for having, the most variations of uniforms, and Baylor had like the chrome helmets, and then that caught on, and everybody suddenly had chrome red and chrome blue and all of that. But I think uniforms are cool, and I do think it got kind of out of hand where like everybody was doing it, and then it seems like everybody sort of reverted a little bit back towards more traditional. But yeah, in the hoopla of all those alternates, Oklahoma dove in, and they were kind of a surprise to dive in because they're so traditional, and they don't really need to, worry about, I guess, flashing new uniforms and things like that for the young recruits. Like maybe a program like a Baylor or Oregon felt the need to because they don't have the power of the brand behind them. So they dipped their toes in the water regardless. I know there was a big, debate about going against tradition at the time and all of that. And then there was an even bigger debate when people actually saw the alternate uniforms and didn't exactly love them, which I had very mixed feelings over those uniforms that Nike debuted years back. I'm still not totally fond of them, but that was Baker Mayfield era is really what I think of with those. So those were cool. I didn't know that they had more in the works, and to see them breaking out the black is a first. So I think that's pretty cool looking. Actually, I like them way better than their last efforts. And I'm not Mr. Mess with tradition all that much, but I think if you're Oklahoma, right, hey, why not bust them out? And I think they actually look great. I'm surprised I like them as much as I do because I never really gave too much consideration to Oklahoma in all black uniforms, but I'm on board.
The regular ones haven't worked the last 3 weeks, so might as well reboot. And look, the Bull Durham rule is if you think you're playing well because of whatever thing you think you're playing well, then you are. So if you can, trick yourself into anything, whatever works.
Is it going to help the defense that they wear all black? Does it get them fired up? I don't know. You never know. I do know this. I don't know of any fan base, and I could be 100% wrong, that bitches and moans about color schemes of their uniforms maybe than Baylor fans. Am I right?
Yeah, but they've changed. You know why, though? And I think they're historically right to feel that way.
They're never happy about them. It just seems like there's always some fight.
Because they've changed so much over the years without anybody's input. I think that now, because of the Nike deal, you'll have the same colors for a long time. But the biggest problem, and this was feeding all their we like this, is they literally annexed every shade of green, gold, or yellow under the umbrella of this is what we are. And it was kind of, it was all different. And so then you then create all these little camps inside it, like little caucuses of oh, I like this one. Oh, I like this gold. I like this one. I don't like gold at all. Well,
they've tried to kind of contain that. They tried to contain that, and it's still for some parts of the fan base, they didn't like it. And I think then when they had the glitz and glamour during the Bryles years, the chrome helmets and all that, it was kind of like they were the ones with an edge on, chip on their shoulder, and they were trying to be, and they started winning, and people liked it, and they sometimes thought it was the uniform as much as it was maybe the talent within the program. But I'm telling you, it doesn't matter what they unveil. I see immediate, oh my God, or whatever. I don't care.
You do, though. You clearly do care.
I don't care about what my team that I watch or cover, what colors they wear. I'm saying I see it as a fan base.
I know, but I've tried to do this and help you with this a couple of times now. Get out of the Baylor bubble. Stuff that, I'm just saying, complaining about uniforms, complaining about kickoff times, complaining about networks, complaining about recruiting. Complaining is every fan base in America. I promise you, if you go to an Oklahoma message board, there's somebody bitching about those uniforms and breaking tradition and whatever. Like, that is not unique to Baylor. I think we need to sometimes look outside and realize Georgia fans are complaining about something. FSU fans are complaining about something. Texas fans are complaining about something. Just times happen to where you're complaining maybe a little less. So
yeah, maybe it's because I cover them and I'm right.
It is. It's absolutely because you cover them.
I still think there's just something that they're never happy about things like that. It just seems like it.
I
That's
think
the way they are.
that's-
I don't
that's
think
a-
that's the case at Georgia.
But who's they, though? Like 2 people on Sikkim?
No, it's not 2 people.
Okay.
It is not 2 people. I wouldn't even bring it up if it was 2 people.
Well, I'll just tell you from my personal fan base, if Florida State never wears their all-black uniforms again, it'll be too soon because they've never won in them. It's not about the look. I like the look, fine. I'm superstitious on when you wear these, you get beat by Clemson, so don't wear them. So that's what I'm about.
Yeah, there's the mustard yellow that last year was fine when they were winning in the mustard yellow. Some liked it, some did not. But you might be right. I'll calm down on that because I'm here and I am working for a company that covers Baylor, although we cover the country, that perhaps I'm almost too close to that and see it more than if it's maybe Troy or possibly Syracuse.
For sure you do. For sure you do. You see it all the time, and so therefore you think that that's just the way that it is. But no, it's the way that it is everywhere else too. I mean, everybody's got their segment of fans that complain. Now I'm with you. There is a segment of Baylor fans that will complain about whatever. Like they're still unhappy that Mac Rhodes is AD, but like, are those people worth wasting energy on? Not for me, not in my opinion. You want to like bog down in those arguments, then by all means, somebody needs to. But yeah, I mean, I've seen complaints about all the stuff you're talking about, and there are some people just across the board, no matter what fandom or area of life you're talking about, that are never going to be happy. But there's nothing you're ever going to say that's not going to make them ever, not be that way. I will say to those who do have critiques, sometimes they're valid. When those new uniforms were debuted, I wasn't blown away by them. I don't know about you guys. I think most people were just kind of like, huh, because they all of a sudden went from chrome gold helmets and being on the cutting edge of, Nike uniforms right there, like I said earlier, head to head with Oregon, basically, in terms of, kind of the threads that they were throwing out and how unique they were getting with them. There was that feeling that, people were excited about the uniform unveiling and, the brand and the chrome, and they loved that aspect of it. And so when that changed a lot with a lot of other things, that was just kind of disappointing. I think that was more just being disappointed that you were going to kind of revert to more traditional, more plain, more yellow, rather than chrome gold unis. I think that's where the disconnect came from. And, I definitely can see the point of view from people that don't like these compared to the way that they were.
All right, Garrett, there's one more. This is from Max Olson.
Those OU ones are sweet, though. I like those.
I like the helmets a lot.
Max Olson. So